I stood frozen in the doorway of that sterile hospital room on the 5th floor of St. Mary's Medical Center, the sharp tang of antiseptic burning my nostrils like it always did. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a cold, unforgiving glow over everything. The heart monitor's steady beep 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 felt like a countdown I couldn't stop. Jordan lay propped against pillows, his once athletic frame reduced to sharp angles and hollow spaces. The oxygen cannula looped under his nose, fogging slightly with each shallow breath. His skin had taken on that unmistakable grayish pallor of someone whose body was fighting a war it was slowly losing. His hand, calloused from years of holding tools, footballs, climbing ropes, reached out weakly. I crossed the room in 3 strides and took it. His fingers were cool, bones prominent under thin skin. Those eyes, the same hazel ones that had sparkled with mischief when we were 10 and he'd convinced me to sneak into the old mill at midnight, now held a quiet, desperate plea. "Just one night, please," he whispered, each word costing him effort. His voice cracked on the last syllable, raw from coughing fits and the feeding tube they'd removed only yesterday. No nurses checking vitals every hour. No beeps. No pitying looks. Just us. Like when we were kids. Talking stupid stuff until the sun came up. "One last night, Alex. That's all I want." My throat closed. Tears blurred the edges of the room. I squeezed his hand harder than I should have, afraid if I let go he'd disappear right then. How do you respond to a request like that? How do you grant it when granting it means admitting this is near the end? In that suspended moment, our entire shared life rushed at me like a river breaking through a dam. Playground promises, rooftop confessions, hospital vigils, every laugh and every tear. This wasn't just a friendship. This was the longest, deepest conversation of my life, one that had lasted 28 years and was now approaching its final paragraph. Let me take you back to the very beginning, because stories like ours don't start with tragedy, they start with ordinary magic, the kind only children can create and only the luckiest adults remember. Willow Creek, Pennsylvania, summer of 1998. Population 4,872 on a good day. The kind of place where everyone knew your business and most of it was boring. I was 5, newly moved from the city after my parents' divorce. Shy, bespectacled, perpetually clutching books or notebooks like shields. First day of kindergarten, Mrs. Harper's class. I sat alone at the craft table, meticulously coloring inside the lines of a construction paper apple tree. Then chaos arrived in the form of Jordan Michael Hayes. He burst into the room like he'd been shot from a cannon, hair already tousled, shirt untucked, grin wide enough to show the gap where a front tooth had recently fallen out. When Tommy Whitaker, the class bully in training, accidentally knocked my crayon box to the floor, scattering every color, I froze. I waited for the laughter. Instead, Jordan dropped to his knees beside me, gathering crayons with surprising care for a 5-year-old tornado. "Here," he said, handing me the red one first because everybody needs red. Then he turned to Tommy with the calm authority of someone twice his age. "Don't do that again." From that single act of small kindness, an empire was built. We spent that first recess together under the big maple tree, trading snacks, his fruit roll UPS for my granola bar, and stories. He wanted to be an astronaut or a stunt driver, something involving speed and zero gravity. I wanted to write books where the heroes always won and nobody ever felt alone. "Cool," he said, like it was the most natural thing in the world. "When you get famous, I'll be your bodyguard. Deal?" Deal. The years that followed were a montage of golden childhood moments. Summers spent biking until our legs ached, racing down the hill behind the old mill, wind whipping our faces. We'd hide in the woods for hours, building forts from branches and imagination. Jordan taught me how to skip stones across the river, I taught him how to make up stories where we were always the victors. We had secret handshakes that evolved every year, more complicated, more ridiculous, more ours. Middle school brought the first shadows. Puberty hit Jordan like a freight train. He shot up to 6 feet by 8th grade, voice cracking mid-sentence, suddenly popular with girls who previously ignored him. I stayed short, skinny, still hiding behind books. People started assuming we shouldn't be friends anymore. "Why do you still hang with the nerd?" they'd ask him. Jordan never hesitated. "Because he's my brother, idiot." His dad's layoff in 10th grade changed everything. The mill closed one wing, then another. Mr. Hayes drank more, yelled more, worked less. Jordan started working weekends at Mr. Patel's hardware store, stocking shelves, mixing paint, carrying lumber. He came to school smelling faintly of sawdust and exhaustion. He never complained, but I saw the strain, the way he'd rub his temples during lunch, the dark circles, the forced jokes. One freezing February night, senior year, he appeared at my window after midnight. Pebbles against glass. I opened it, and he climbed in like always, shivering in just a hoodie. We sat on my bed in the dark. "They're talking about selling the house," he said quietly. "Dad's not doing great. Mom's picking up double shifts at the diner. I might have to drop out, get full-time work." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "You can't. You're smarter than all of us combined." He laughed, but it was hollow. "Smart doesn't pay bills, Alex." We talked until 4 a.m. I offered everything I had, my savings from mowing lawns, my college fund, which was pitiful anyway. My willingness to run away with him if that's what it took. He just shook his head. "I need you to keep being you. Keep writing. Keep dreaming big enough for both of us. Promise?" I promised. Graduation came. We both cried when they called our names. Scholarships arrived like miracles, mine to Evergreen College for creative writing, his to Penn State for mechanical engineering. The night before we left, we drove to our spot by the river. Built a bonfire. Drank cheap soda because we were still underage. Made pinky promises under the stars. "Every month," he said. "One weekend. No matter what. No matter what." College pulled us in opposite directions, but we fought to stay connected. Freshman year, we managed monthly visits. Sophomore year, every 6 weeks. Junior year, holidays mostly. Texts replaced calls. Life expanded, classes, internships, new friends, first serious relationships. I met Sarah sophomore spring. She sat next to me in advanced fiction workshop, critiquing my stories with surgical precision and kindness. She had dark curls, sharp wit, and the ability to make me laugh until my sides hurt. Jordan met Mia at a rock climbing gym, fearless, tattooed, always chasing the next adrenaline rush. They seemed perfect for each other. Our friendship adapted. We sent memes at 2 a.m., voice notes during commutes, occasional long calls when life felt heavy. But the distance grew, not in miles but in the small, daily details we no longer shared. Then came the Tuesday night phone call that ripped the illusion apart. Rain pounded my apartment windows. I was grading papers when my phone buzzed. Jordan's name. I answered smiling. His voice was wrong. Small. Broken. "Alex. I can't. I need you to come. Please." No explanation. Just fear. I caught the first Greyhound Friday morning. 6 hours of worry and worst-case scenarios. His apartment door was unlocked. Inside smelled of unwashed dishes and despair. Jordan sat on the floor, back against the couch, knees drawn up. He looked like a ghost of himself, cheeks sunken, eyes bloodshot, hands shaking. We didn't speak at first. I just sat beside him. Eventually, words came in a flood. Mia had left 3 weeks earlier. He'd finally told her about the panic attacks that started junior year, the nights he woke gasping, convinced he was dying. The depression that followed, heavy and relentless. She'd tried to help, then couldn't handle it. She said she loved me but couldn't watch me destroy myself, he whispered. I don't blame her. He'd hidden it from me because you were finally happy. You had Sarah, your writing, a future. I didn't want to drag you down. I stayed 4 days. We talked, cried, ordered pizza we barely ate. I made him call the campus counseling center. When I left, he hugged me so hard my ribs protested. I think I can make it now, he said. Because you came. But mental illness doesn't respect promises. 3 months later, his mother called at 3 a.m. He tried, Alex. Pills. He's in ICU. The drive was endless. Rain. Tears. Terror. I found him restrained to the bed, wrists bandaged, monitors everywhere. When he woke, shame flooded his face. I'm sorry, he kept saying. I'm so sorry. We rebuilt from there. I deferred my final semester. Moved into his spare room. We attended therapy together, individual, group, even friendship counseling sessions that felt absurd until they weren't. There were setbacks, nights he disappeared for hours, days he wouldn't leave bed. Victories too, first full week without a panic attack, first time he laughed, really laughed, in months. He graduated. Landed a junior engineer position at a renewable energy firm. Started volunteering at a suicide prevention hotline. I finished my degree, published a short story collection. Dedicated it to him. Life normalized. Sarah and I got engaged. Jordan was best man at our riverbank wedding. His speech destroyed everyone. Alex taught me stories save lives. Turns out, his friendship saved mine. Every single day. 5 years of relative peace. Career growth. Vacations. Inside jokes that never aged. Then routine blood work. Persistent fatigue. Bruises that appeared without cause. The oncologist's quiet words, diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. Stage 3. Aggressive, but treatable. Jordan absorbed it with eerie calm. Well, he said, guess the universe decided I needed one more big fight. Chemo started 2 weeks later. The first round was brutal. Violent nausea. Mouth sores that made eating torture. Hair loss in handfuls. I shaved his head in his bathroom, both of us crying and laughing hysterically as clumps stuck to the clippers. Bald suits you, I told him. He studied his reflection. I'm starting a cult. Balds only. You're my first recruit. I became part of his care team. Sarah and I rotated shifts, hospital transports, bland meal prep, endless episodes of The Office to distract from the nausea. His family helped, but I was the constant, the one who knew when he needed silence versus sarcasm. He launched the blog Bald and Battling on a whim. Raw posts about fear, indignity, small hopes. It went viral. Thousands followed. Strangers sent messages, your words got me through my own chemo. Thank you for being honest. Jordan read every one, replying when strength allowed. If my ugly truth helps even one person, he said, then this nightmare has meaning. The cancer didn't listen to viral posts. It metastasized. Trials failed. Doctors shifted from curative to palliative. Jordan wanted one final adventure, our childhood campground in the Alleghenies. We packed carefully, meds, oxygen concentrator, emergency kit. Halfway up the trail he loved, he collapsed. Clutching his chest. Lips blue. Can't breathe. No cell signal. I half carried him down the path, legs burning, terror screaming in my head. A ranger found us near the trailhead. Ambulance. AR. Pulmonary embolism, a clot dislodged by chemo. He coded twice. They brought him back. That scare rewrote our rules. No more long trips. We lived in the now, backyard sunsets, short porch walks, watching old home videos. One stormy midnight, his call, "Come. Now." I arrived to find him on the kitchen floor, pill bottles scattered. Heart-stopping terror. Had he finally given up? No. Weakness had simply caused him to drop them. We laughed until we sobbed. That night we stayed up until dawn. Talked about first kisses, his with Jenny Parker in 9th grade, mine with Sarah, worst fights, the one over a girl in 11th grade, dreams deferred. "You're the only family I ever needed," he said softly. Winter deepened. Pain escalated. Morphine dulled but never erased it. Still, he insisted on bucket list moments. Skydiving, tandem jump, medical clearance barely granted. He hooped the entire freefall. On the ground, best day of my life. The final admission came swiftly. Infections. Uncontrollable pain. That last plea in the dim room, just one night. Staff bent rules. Lights dimmed. Monitors silenced. Sarah brought photo albums, our favorite junk food, blankets that smelled like home. We talked through the night. Regrets, he wished he'd reconciled with his father sooner. Pride, he was proud of the man and writer I'd become. Gratitude, for every moment we'd stolen from time. As first light touched the blinds, he squeezed my hand one final time. "Live big, Alex. Tell people our story. Make it matter." He slipped away quietly, peacefully, loved. Grief came in waves, crushing, relentless. But so did legacy. His blog became the Jordan Hayes Foundation. Mental health hotlines, cancer patient grants, scholarships for first-generation students. My novel Just One Night found readers worldwide, each chapter a love letter to him. He taught me friendship isn't grand gestures. It's presence in the dark. It's refusing to let go. It's promising no excuses and keeping it. If you're hurting, reach out. If someone you love is struggling, stay. Love fiercely. Live fully. Because the people who matter most are worth every difficult, beautiful, heartbreaking moment. And if this story moved you, if it reminded you to call that friend, to forgive, to hold on, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. More real, raw, hopeful stories are coming. Thank you for being part of this journey.